Hey, welcome back to Nature's Glory Cabin. If this is your first time, welcome to us. We're back in the backcountry byway with another YouTube follower on a ride. We've done a lot of these a lot of times, but today we're going to do a lot more rear view camera. We're starting off at the Red River Rock House, where we really like to eat in Red River Gorge. We're going to continue on up to Fixer-Lico. We're going to go down Fixer-Lico, do New Virginia Ridge Road, and shoot off to Hidden Lake, then backtrack back up around. We're going to do Hell Creek and Old Fincastle. It's about a 5-hour trip for the day. And here we are leaving Red River Rock House. Really great place. Burgers, burritos, and beer. That's what's on the sign out front. So we're going to take a left out of here. And once we get on the trails, we're going to have a whole lot of rear camera. Don't need to see much out the front. I showed a lot of that. Here we are turning right onto 1036 to go back to Fixer-Lico, the entrance from this end. And we're going to go back through here a little bit, and this little place called Wireman's on the right. The next left is the entrance to Fixer-Lico. It's not marked any other way. So here it is. We're going to pull in here. We always pull in here for a little photo op, and we're going to hang out here a minute, and we got to speeding up while we're standing there looking around, and then we're going to take on off. So we got a little video of both of us here, them in the TJ and us in the JL. I believe they're on 33-inch tires. We had a good day, and there we are, just kind of hanging out, talking a little bit. That's Dave and Tim right there in the middle, and myself and my wife, Mark and Nitto. And we're going to take on off here. We're going to cut out an awful lot of this, just a couple of important things to note, and do a bunch from the rear, like I said. So here we are. We're going to make sure you don't miss this right, because this right keeps you on the trail. The rest of it's pretty easy to follow. Make sure you have maps. Get the official map and run it on the Avenza app from car2tracks.com, and always be there. It's only about $11.95 or something like that a year, and you can download to multiple devices. I have it on both my Android phone and on my iPad. And a lot of this from behind. This one here is the only little drop off. We have another little place, and we'll show that from the rear with Tim coming through it. Again, obviously I've sped up the video. We got this down to about 30 minutes on a little over a 5-hour ride. Now we're going to go through a little flexi spot here on Fixer-Lico. First I'm going to go through it. I think we have some camcorder video also. We're going to do it both ways. And you can see that from behind a little bit. It's not real bad. There's also a bypass there on the right side of your viewing there, if you want to take that. When you come off of it at the bottom, there's kind of a flexi spot still. So here comes Tim down it. Tim and Dave, excuse me. Actually, I believe Tim's running the camera. That's just Dave. Excuse me, that's me. I'm in the JL. Gosh, can't keep myself straight here. So anyway, now here comes Dave in the TJ. No problem. And we're going to take off from here and jump into the water pretty much right away. And we're just going to see a bunch of the water and the creek crossings and such, mostly all from the rear. Since I've done this so much, I try to find a way to mix this up a little bit. Just because I've done this trail a bunch, don't forget that things can change, and they can happen in a hurry. Yes, they appear to be most the same every time you've seen these, and we had some high water occasionally, but it hasn't been unmanageable. There can be trees down easily, so be prepared for that. Either winch them out of the way if you can, or you may need a battery operated chainsaw to cut them up before you pull them out of the way. Always pick up anything you take out there and bring it back with you, and if you can, try to pick up other stuff that's there too. We do that on a regular basis. Try to keep these trails clean as we can. We appreciate the help. The water's kind of down on this day. This is April, I think it said the 26th of 2024, and that's the day we're doing this. Just the two of us. This, I believe, was a Saturday. And you can see the water's down, and we have seen it higher. But it's a good trail ride. Fixer-Lico is a pretty easy ride. There's a little spot right there at that tree where you drop a little bit. Kind of take it easy through there. There's pipes in the water And the ground out here where they do oil exploration and such, a lot of it's abandoned now, but the pipes are still there, and kind of watch out for them. They can have sharp edges. This one's usually a little deeper. Today it's not too bad. It's up to his bumper a little bit. And we go on down, and this little sharp turn here up the left, up top of the hill there, that's Zachariah Creek Lake. That's what they use to pump underground to force the oil up to the top so they can pump it out. And here to the right is a little connector to get down to the other part of, I believe it's Larison. You could have went left up to the top on a little touch of gravel, a touch of blacktop, but it turns sharp down the hill and you end up at the same place. Usually just takes a little gravel connector. And there's not going to be a lot of video through here. We're going to end up, this is at the beginning of Bald Rock. Cave Fork would be to your left, Fixer Lico, Larison behind us. And we're going to continue on Bald Rock for a little bit here until we get to the split at New Virginia Ridge Road. Beautiful scenery that you see off to the right there in the video. Very scenic down here. Spring is just beginning to get started at this particular time. And it's a spot we usually stop and take some more pictures. The creek comes up a little bit here. It's about normal on this day. I've seen it way up closer to the road, and I've also seen it just a trickle at the very back, depending on the time of year and how dry it's been. Stop here for a little photo opportunity, a little video. And if you follow our Facebook page, my wife takes an awful lot of pictures, and the Facebook page is the same name, Nature's Glory Cabin. Go over there and look at those as well. So we're going to take off from here. See the creek again there, and Dave and Tim following in behind us. Now we're going to look a little different. This is where we're going to pick up, joining New Virginia Ridge Road, turning right at the oil pump. Going to go down and cross the wooden bridge, go back to Hidden Lake, and then backtrack back to Highway 52 on New Virginia Ridge Road. You can see there in the front on the right side of your screen, the oil pump is actually running. We're going to go to the right of it to get on New Virginia Ridge Road. We came off a small section of Bald Rock. Now when you get to this spot here, there's a culvert style spot. Stay to the left. Sometimes there's water in this. Lately it's been pretty dry. Stay to the left to stay on New Virginia Ridge Road. To the right is a much rougher trail called Sinking Creek. Unless you're well equipped, you don't want to go there. So here we are zipping through New Virginia Ridge Road. We'll show you a couple of spots. The water's kind of down, so we don't have a lot of water crossings to show. A mud hole or two here and there. And now we get down to the bridge. We usually get out here and check this out, see what it looks like. The bridge can be in varying degrees of, what's the word I want to use here? Decay. Sometimes it's better than others. Ohio River four-wheelers have been taking pretty good care of it lately, keeping it passable. Backcountry Byway is supposed to get this at some point replaced with a real nice bridge. The counties are going to come together and help that. So there's some looks at me going across it, and we've got some camcorder video here coming up. I believe Tim was running the camcorder. The bridge is very stable. Underneath it's got railroad ties and some pretty heavy underpinnings. The top can get loose sometimes, and you gotta watch for nails occasionally. It's been repaired several times in the last year. Generally you want to stay left and go across it. Now we turned left after we crossed the bridge to go back to Hidden Lake. If you turned right, you'd be staying on New Virginia Ridge Road. We're going to go back to Hidden Lake first, and then we'll finish out New Virginia when we get back. This is a pretty fairly easy trail. I'd rate this about a 2.5, maybe a 3, depending on how you're equipped. This water here has never been real deep, but if you're a stock vehicle, it might be a little deeper for you. You don't really need a lift on this, but any stock off-road vehicle should be able to do this. And we're going the easy way. There is a harder way, and someday I'll get around to doing that and I'll show that to you. Again, very scenic area. And also, even though it looks easy on this day, we get a good rain or something through here, some of this stuff could be washed out. So you should always be prepared for it. Never count on what you saw the last time in a video as what it's going to be when you go. There's a couple of ways to get back here. You can go down this little hill, there's a Y at the bottom, or you can go around it a little more off camber. And I think we're going to go the other way when we get back. Now we're heading back to Hidden Lake. And as soon as you cross the hill, as soon as you get up there, all of a sudden Hidden Lake comes into view. It's kind of tight back here. I wouldn't suggest more than 4 vehicles come back here, because you have to turn around in a spillway, and I think more than 4 might be a little harder. I've seen more than that back here, but I don't quite know how they logistically worked it out for them. But about 4 is the limit as I would come back, including me. And we're going to hang out back here a while and take some pictures and video, and generally just enjoy the stop. And we're going to take another look at it here, and we got another picture popping up. Same view with a different camera that makes it look completely different. And we're going to turn around here in the spillway, climb the hill, and we're going to watch Dave and Tim turn around down there, and we're going to head back out. Be careful across this dam. This has gotten deeper over time. It's not undrivable, but it's a dam, so always be prepared for the worst, just in case. I know it sounds like a doomsday or sometime, but I really would rather have you prepared for the worst than assume it's going to be easy every time. Here we're going to go back to the left side of that Y. We came down the other side going in, and it's a little, I think it's a little easier. Other people have described it as severely off camber. I disagree with that. I think it's a fairly easy, just a little bit of an incline. The other side's a little tighter with a tree right there as you go down. I do it both ways. Your mileage may vary. You decide what's best for you. If you're riding with me, I'll let you do that. I don't care which way you go. Now we're going back out. Here's the water. We're going to show Dave and Tim coming through that behind me. And it's up to about the bottom of their bumper on 33s, which is about halfway up to 33. Now we're back at the bridge. We just passed the bridge on the right, and we're going out New Virginia Ridge Road. As we toss the top of that hill here, there's a little bit of some ruts on this side. Again, it's pretty dry. You could bypass them by staying passenger coming down this and miss most of it. I just like going into ruts, so I just usually do. And this is a pretty easy ride. New Virginia Ridge Road most of the time is a 2.5. Occasionally it can be slick and makes it those 2.5s, 3s in a few spots going up hills. All terrains should be enough to get you through everything. Here we're turning off the main part of New Virginia Ridge Road and going up the hill out of toward the road, toward Highway 52. It's still a mile or so up here. And guess what was in the road? Looked like a black snake. He was just sunning there and did not want to move. And he didn't like it when I tried to get him to move. So I went back and got my little thing I used to pick up trash with and got him out of the way. He still didn't want to go, so I grabbed him and put him off in the side. We have those and turtles a lot. So just kind of help them go along in their direction, and they have no reason to, you have no reason to kill those or anything. Just help them across. That little hill there had a few little rocks in it. When it's wet, it's a little slick, but you should be able to navigate it pretty easy. And here's some rocks, a little bit of everything. It's a fun ride. There's this sandstone, sands from the sandstone. And we climb up out of here. We're getting close to being out at this point. A few rocks on the ground to climb over. They're minimal. And then we get to the top and we're back on pavement. Now on pavement here, take us a little ways out. This is part of the Sheltowee Trace. You'll see like a turtle on a tree out here at the road. That's part of the Sheltowee Trace. Then we're going to turn left on Highway 52 here. And we're going to go to a park. This park a lot of times is where we stop for lunch. This roadside parking also has restrooms, real restrooms during the season. So once we leave there, we're going to head to Hell Creek, and we're going to end up going down Highway 11. Excuse me, we're out on 52 here. We're going to turn left onto 498. We'll turn right on Highway 11 when we get there, and then we're going to go down to 3 Mile Branch Road. So we get there heading toward Hell Creek. There can be people here at this park when you get here. Quite usually during the summer, there's children playing on the playground equipment. Again, like I mentioned a minute ago, we're going to go out of here and head toward Hell Creek. We'll continue down 52 like we were to start with when we pulled in. Then we're going to turn left onto 498 after we get in that direction. The video is a little bit helter-skelter here, I guess you'd call it, because I'm switching back and forth between front and rear camera. There's the 498 sign. We'll go all the way out to Highway 11. I've got, this is again 498 turn still. Like I said, we've got several little segments here of showing the turn, front and the rear. That might be too much. I might have to not do as much next time. Y'all tell me what you think. Now we're out to Highway 11. We're going to make a right on Highway 11 south, head down to 3 Mile Branch Road, make a left on it, and work our way back to Hell Creek. 3 Mile Branch Road takes us up to old Highway 11, and we're going to make a left on it and head toward Tip Top, and then to Holly Road, and then back to Hell Creek and Old Fincastle. So here we are, left on Highway State 11, and we're not going to go very far. I don't know, probably even 100 yards. We'll make a right here. It says Tip Top out here, and some maps call this Holly Road out here at the old Highway 11. And Holly Road is right here marked. We make a left onto Holly for sure, and we just follow this on back until we get to the beginning of Hell Creek, and then we'll make a left onto Hell Creek. And we've cut a lot out of Hell Creek. Hell Creek, end to end, you can make it less than 20 minutes probably. It's very smooth, nice scenic, lots of rock overhangs and cliffs. Again, still need to watch out for conditions. It's possible there's some washouts depending on the weather. Several scenic rock faces, and there's a couple of creek crossings here and there. I think I left at least one of them in. And here's the biggest one. And another rock face as we head out. And now we're pulling up to Shoemaker Ridge Road. We're going to make a left onto Shoemaker Ridge Road and go a short distance to an unmarked road that is Old Fincastle. It's the only place you can turn right here. You'll miss this if you don't watch out. I don't believe it's marked out at the road. And we're going to come on back here, and once you get back here a little ways, you'll see the marker for the backcountry byway. As we go down this hill, it's rougher than it looks. Hopefully you can see a little bit of that from the rear camera that shows how rocky it is. We've ran into people down here that did not realize how rocky this was. Again, I sped this up. I think most of this is double timed. We're running probably 3 or 4 miles an hour, and this makes us look like we're running 10 miles an hour or more. Now we're going down into more of the rocks. That camera's about 2 feet or so off the ground, so when aiming down it doesn't do those rocks justice. It's higher than they are, but it's pretty rough, but doable. And this is probably a 4 or 5 level for the most part. It's got a couple obstacles in it that are harder, but most people can get across it with some guidance. If you have you're gonna need at least a decent 33-inch tire can get through this, and a small lift. You can't make it through here on a 35 and no lift. But obviously, as usual, the more you have, the better, and the easier it makes it. There's a couple pretty good sized rocks. Now I'm in the JL here that has a 37-inch tire, so it makes short work of all this. So I'm thinking that camera's probably higher off the ground than 24 inches. So, again, just doesn't do it justice. But they're on 33-inch tires. You see they're negotiating it pretty well. And there's a mud hole here. It's got a bit of a drop off to it. You will probably hit your rear hitch on it and dig into the mud a little bit, but that's as much as you'll do. You can try to go off to the side, but you'll still be off camera. At least one set of tires will go through it. Now we're at the water crossing that can be anywhere from 6 to 8 inches to, I've heard of it being 3.5, 4 feet deep. I've not personally seen it. But never underestimate it. Just because we've had a lot of rain doesn't mean it's going to be deep. If you get up here a couple of days after it's dried up, 9 times out of 10, a lot of this water is drained out of here. It drains out pretty fast. Now climbing this hill ahead of us is no real fun either. It's got some rocks in it and can be slick. Now on this day it's pretty dry, so drier it is, easier it is. There's a couple of spots that you could have some trouble with some ruts going over them, but again, it's being pretty dry here. You can probably put your tires up on the dirt wall and stay out of the deep rut. I say deep rut because the TJ we had was on 33s would drag in a couple of spots here, and I had to, kind of get a little more gas to get through it. Obviously, this JL on 33s does not have that problem. And pretty dry today. These guys make short work of it as well. Now, see that car on the side? That's a clue to something's about ready to happen. That's an SUV that probably, obviously, had no reason to be here because it couldn't make this hill climb. We get up here to the rock garden, we'll know why. And there we are coming up that hill. That turn right there, coming up that hill, just before that turn, it's where the hill can be pretty slick. And now we got rocks up here, some of them fairly good size. But again, you shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble with them as long as you're fairly well equipped. You don't want to come back here with a stock vehicle of any kind. That's my suggestion. You can do whatever you want. Here we're going to see what the problem is. Around this corner here at the top, and look what we see. We see a whole bunch of folks stuck at the rock garden because most of the people with them couldn't get through it. So we'll spend a few minutes here with them and look like we're waving at each other. The truth of the matter is, I think they said they had one vehicle that could get through it, and it was the Jeep Wrangler that's up there close to the rock face. So we had to wait here a few minutes and give them time to get turned around and out of here because they couldn't get through it. Unprepared and didn't realize, I guess, what they were doing, or thought they could do it. So we'll just watch this for a minute and then we'll get to move on. I don't know how many of them attempted it, but I do know that they decided to turn around and go back. that blue SUV that was sitting on the hill we went past was part of this group. So they're out of our way now. They're letting us by, and we're going to go up here and do the rock garden. And yes, I've got a couple of extra angles here so you can see even more. And here we are in the JL Rubicon going up and over the rock, smooth as silk, like it didn't even exist. I wouldn't say that, but you know, I use lockers. If you don't have lockers, you'll have a little more trouble getting over it in that direction because you need to push and pull at the same time. Get parked up here out of the way, show a couple different angles, then we'll show Dave coming out of it. And just because you got over that rock, that's not everything. It's pretty rocky going up this hill. There's still a couple of places you got to pay attention. But wait, that's not all. And here it is from the rear view. I've shown this on other occasions as well. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. This never seems to change. I've never seen anything weather-wise change this. Now, however, you see some rocks piled up there. There are people that pile up rocks because they can't get through it. They'll bottom out a lot of times, drag their bellies. The short version of these vehicles doesn't have the problem. 2 doors can usually do it a lot better than the 4 doors. 4 doors need more tire and more lift. And here comes Dave, and I'm gonna spot him through here. And he's gonna go over it the same way I did. I'm telling him where to put his tires right now. And come over it, and there he is. Again, I'm telling him where I want to put his tires so he doesn't hit his differential. This is what works for us Jeeps. If you're driving a different vehicle, you may have to rethink your approach because it may not be the same. And here's that from another angle. As him coming up, excuse me, this is where he pulls up behind me. We had another people came up behind us here. This is John and Kimberly Carson from the Central Kentucky Bronco Club, and they were with us, and I videoed them coming over the rock as well. That's Kimberly actually doing the driving today. They've got some new equipment, as I understand it. They put some more equipment on this Bronco, and it looks pretty well ready to go. I believe it's got 37s on it. He's got all the lockers and everything, and he's directing her over. And he said, "Let's stop right there for a photo op." And I said, "You know what? I'm recording this." Oh, okay. And they're going to come on off of that. They weren't with us, but since they were here, I went ahead and videoed them. I put a short over on the channel and also shared it to them some time ago now. I think probably back around the time I did it. So we got all that finished, and we're done for the day. So we're going to head on out of here. Still got some rocks here we have to climb to get out of here. We're parked down the hill. And once we get out of here, it smooths right out, and we're out on the highway pretty much. So when you get out of here, Old Fincastle turns into something called 2016. You follow it all the way on out, and then it becomes, it runs into 715 Highway, which is one of the highways for the Red River Gorge. I'll have another map pop up here in a minute. give you a little better indication of where we were and how we got here to finish this trail out. And once you get up here, it's gravel, then it becomes pavement. And then when you get up here, and here we came out of the end of Old Fincastle, again 2016 to 715. Hit 715, you turn right to go to Red River Gorge Sky Bridge, you turn left to go back to Slade. And there is one little turn here you gotta make sure you don't miss. And here we are, we're running on out. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Come back, thanks for watching.